My career in wanting to make a difference in women's athletics actually started when I was 12. I grew up in Opelousas, Louisiana, Cajun country all the way. And Barbara Mandrell's song that she was country before it was cool to be country. Well, I was a tomboy before it was cool for women to be in sports. And I tried out for Little League Baseball. I was excited. I put my hat on, my bat, and the man at City Park wouldn't let me play. And he offered to let me be a manager. He offered to let me be a scorekeeper, a cheerleader, but he wouldn't let me play. And Adam, I knew I was as good as little boys on the field. And I thought that's not fair. And at that time, I knew I wanted to be in a business that helped women learn to compete. One of Pat's definite dozen, which I absolutely loved, was left foot, right foot, breathe. And sometimes, and as we got to these hurdles, I had to say left foot, right foot, breathe. We're going to get through them. But, we had such a great product, and we had people that were interested. The other one of definite dozen is that you have got to work hard. I'm going to try to outwork you and be the one that's there. And, we would go places and people would say, I can't believe y'all are averaging 16,000 people at a women's basketball game. And I said, you don't know how many chicken dinners Pat and I have spoke at to promote what we're doing. And that was one of the things that I loved having a partnership with Pat, is she was willing to do that. You have some coaches that think the only thing they're supposed to do is be on the basketball court. But Pat understood the big picture. I understood the big picture. And we were doing more than just playing basketball.
Yeah.
You talked about Title IX, and what my goals are is having opportunities for women and being successful. Being the 50 years of Title IX and talking about leadership in women's sports, I think about, is Title IX working? That was 50 years ago. Is it really working? And I don't, even though I majored in math at LSU, I don't have to do a statistical report and figure out all the stats. All I have to do is get on an airplane. If I get on an airplane and I sit next to a couple and I say, I'm Joan Cronin, I'm athletic director emeritus at the University of Tennessee. And if they smile, the next thing out of their mouth are, I have a daughter or I have a granddaughter who, and they go on to describe the athletic ability of their daughter or granddaughter. When moms and dads want the same opportunities for their daughters and their granddaughters as they do for their sons and grandsons, Title IX is working. And I think that's happening. And I love to think that Pat and I were a part of making that happen.
Legendary University of Tennessee coach and leader Pat Summitt famously used to say, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Pat's caring attitude motivated her to create a formula for success and leadership in life called the Definite Dozen. These principles served as the foundation of her program for decades.
Pat Summitt was a coaching and leadership superstar, the stuff of legend. The Pat Summitt Leadership Group was formed to spread the words and teachings of Pat Summitt. Using film, educational programs, and publishing, the Pat Summitt Leadership Group uses Pat's Definite Dozen to help leaders of all ages find personal and professional success.
The question now is, will you claim what success looks like for you? Don't settle for mediocrity. Do what Pat did. Win at life and change the world. Get started at PatSummitLeadershipGroup.com.